5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hello, good morning, and welcome to a snowy Scotland, unfortunately. I am delighted to be joined by Chris Hamilton as we look ahead and preview the Volta Catalunya. Chris, nice to have you back. How are you?
Good, mate. It's good to be back.
Yeah, it's been a long time. I think it's been a full year since we had you on.
It has been. It's been about 12 months to the day.
Yeah. Now, 2017 was obviously a huge year for you in terms of the fact that you signed for Sunweb and it was your first season at World Tour level. Looking back at it now, was it as hard as you thought it was going to be?
Yes. Quite easily. I think for me the biggest thing was not so much the lifestyle or anything like that. I had no issues with that. I love being able to live over here and be a full-time cyclist and live in Girona and travel the world for a living. But it was the racing that really really the intensity and the just the level that the guys are on. That was something that it took a long time for me to get used to. I'd quite easily say I spent just about all of the first half of the year terrified of the racing, just because just not used to it at all. It was like nothing I'd done before, and the positioning and stuff and the fighting, that was something that I struggled with quite a bit. It all took time and takes time, and 12 months on, I'm really quite confident in myself and in my ability to be wherever I need to be in the bunch. There
was no kind of easy races. You were straight into it. After you did your spell in Australia, you did Abu Dhabi, Catalunya, Basque Country, Tour de Yorkshire, Dauphiné, San Sebastian. So there was none of these kind of smaller races. So I think we can all imagine how difficult it was going to be. Then you get the call to go and ride the Volta, which must have been a massive vote of confidence in your ability coming from the team in your first season.
It was huge. I mean, there was obviously all of my, Sunweb it's really quite amazing how well planned and everything is. And so in December, every race you're doing for the whole year. So they do a lot of work on the guys having their full schedule, and then you can rest easy for the whole year, knowing where you're going to be and when you're going to be home at what time. The Volta there was no discussion of that at the start of the year, and I guess they were happy with how I'd progressed so far and the races I'd made it through. So they figured they'd give me a chance, and it paid off.
What was that 3-week experience like? I mean, it's clearly totally different to anything that you've done before in terms of a week-long stage race. What was the whole kind of 3 weeks? Was it just like really, really hard and a case of survival? Could you enjoy it?
I think for me and for a lot of guys out there, we are just surviving. But it's, I knew it was going to be hard, but I didn't think it was going to be raced as hard as what it was. Because, you do a race like, I don't know, for instance, Catalunya or Basque Country or one of those like really solid week-long tours, and you get to the end of it and you're like, oh, gee, I'm rooted, like couldn't do another day of it. Like, you're like, thank God that's done. And you think, and I always thought that, well, a Grand Tour is going to be different. There's, it's not possible to race like this every day for 3 weeks, but apparently it is. So that was, the first week or the first few days or whatever, because there was no easy day. Stage one, it was not. For a lot of guys, it wouldn't have been physically too hard, because there was the bunch. Well, it was, as you saw, there was no breakaway. The bunch never. Everyone was so stressed about the wind that we just stayed in one peloton all day, and I remember myself and Lennon Hofstadter, he's another neo that we had to, not so much, we weren't riding the front, but we were riding the front of the 10 wide bunch that it was all day to hold our guys in position, and that took I didn't realise it at the time, but that took me until the first rest day just to get over that day. Like the first week I was really struggling a bit, and we put it down to that because it was just such a hard day without knowing it, just because of the stress and everything like that. But yeah, you learn what you can. You learn that the human body's a pretty amazing thing. Like it shouldn't be able to. It should not be able to. You shouldn't physically be able to do that for 3 weeks. But then every morning you wake up feeling like a truck's run over you, and you put a leg over the top tube and away you go, and you make it through. Like there's some days where you really think this is not good. Like as soon as the flag drops after neutral if you're in for a long day or not. And I had quite a few of them, but yeah, made it through in the end, and didn't get sick because there was definitely a lot of sickness getting spread around that bunch. So I'll cop it. I'll cop the sickness I got at Paris over. And since I missed out on the Volta one, so
the penultimate stage was the iconic climb of the Langlaroo. Sorry, it looks amazing on TV. How just what is that like? What is the climb like? Fans, it looks crazy.
It was amazing. I mean that day I don't know what it was. I was really in a lot of trouble in the third week on my hands and knees, and don't know if it was. I mean, I like racing in the rain, and it rained a lot that day, but I don't know what it was that for some reason I was just on a really good day, and on such an iconic stage, and to be able to be there like with the last 25, 30 guys. Running into the last Langlaroo climb, it was it's the sort of thing you get goosebumps. Like it, I mean, you can't really appreciate it at the time, but I get a lot of things like that when in races and the places you go, and you'd be sitting at home and just thinking about it, and just it just gives you a really good feeling. Like, but yeah, the people was just, and the weather was filthy, but the commitment to everyone and that have walked or ridden up this hill, and they're standing on the side of this mountain for God knows how long, all day in the rain, and then they just love it. So that was it was really special to be a part of that. Then
you leave the Vuelta on your knees, I would imagine, and you get the call to go to Milano Torino as team leader. Well, freedom anyway, and you come up with a big top 20 result. That must have been pleasing to have suffered your way through the Vuelta and then to come out at the other end with a solid performance over in Italy.
It was, yeah. So I went out. I wasn't doing the Vuelta originally. I wasn't sure if they'd still if they'd end my season after that, because I'd already had quite a lot of race days at the end of the year, a lot more than I expected to do. But yeah, really glad I still got the opportunity to do those. I mean, it kept me going for, it was about a month in between, and it was kind of nice because I could be pretty relaxed about my training and everything. I had my dad over here as well. He came over to see the last week of the Volta, and then came to Girona with me after that, and stayed for a few days. So it was really cool to be able to show him what I do and how I'm living and where I'm living, and show him a bit of the lifestyle. So yeah, it was good. Like I could kind of have a week off after the Vuelta, and then from then on it was just about riding. Like I didn't have to stress too much about doing intervals or big days or anything like that. I just had to keep the legs turning over because I had such a massive base from the Vuelta, and I was quite excited to see how my form was, because a lot of guys say once you do your first Grand Tour, like it puts you on another level physically. So yeah, it was I was really pleased with the result. It's not so much a result. I mean, for me, it's just the feeling of knowing where I've come in 1 year, just from getting my getting absolutely belted at this race last year and hanging on the last wheel, not being able to fight my way through the bunch, and then at the end of the year I can be like, look around and be like, I mean, I'm still such a long way off being competitive, you know, in those sort of races, but it's nice to know that it gives you a little bit of hope, you know, that you're like, okay, the progression, it's coming.
Yeah, you're not going to be last wheel for the rest of your career.
yeah, exactly.
It's
a scary place back there.
Yeah, you end the season. I mean, you've done the Grand Tour. Then you go and do your first monument in Lombardia as well. I mean, huge races, iconic races, the type of race I'm sure you'd want to have done when you're sitting back home in Australia watching races on TV. Looking back at that whole season as a whole, what was the most difficult bit?
I'm gonna have to, the Volta for sure is just the most difficult thing I've ever physically and partly mentally, and that was by far the hardest thing. You
mentioned the impact people will have told you about the first Grand Tour. So then you have your winter or your summer back in Australia. How quickly did you notice like an improvement in your base level? Is it something that is true? Like once you've done that first Grand Tour, you are a better cyclist?
I believe so. I mean, the first week back is never that. I mean, I'd never actually had an off season before in my life. Like, I mean, because I've never done a full road season before. Even in Australia, I was only ever doing little bits here and there and going in between mountain bikes and roads. So I'd never actually ridden for a full consecutive season. So I didn't know what it was like to have a month off the bike or anything like that. And so coming back from that, I was like, oh, there's a long way to go. Yeah. But it's funny because when you're coming back from an off season, you never feel like you're getting better, but then you get more into your training and you start doing a few efforts and stuff like that, or notice just what you can do or what you can hold on an endurance ride, and you know how your heart rate changes and stuff, and you're like, oh, actually, yeah, maybe I think I'm coming along okay, actually. And then I really noticed after like 2 weeks being back on the bike, I felt like I was, you know, back in the middle of the season again. Like I could sort of do whatever numbers I needed to do in training, and it was. I really did not notice how quickly I bounced back, and how quickly my form. How quickly my form came back up, and I've noticed that as well, even training over here at the start of the season. After not doing a great deal of training, I'm doing some of the best numbers. I've been doing or have done some of the best numbers that in my life. So, and that's just from the start of the season. So it's exciting to see.
You were sixth in the road nats back home. That was a good solid start to the season. Yeah,
it was. I was very happy with that. Because again, road nats is, anyone's nationals. They're competitive, but it's nice to be in the mix in the Australian one because, for so many years you watch these guys racing overseas, and then again, I'm usually on the sidelines for the elite one, just because of the under 23s or. You know, a few years ago when I wasn't even doing road, I remember going over and watching. I think that was the year Luke Durbridge won.
Oh yeah,
that was the first road nationals I ever saw. So I kind of, it was a bit of a weird time back home. I guess a bit emotional after everything happened, and. I was a bit unsure on what way it was going to go. Like if I was going to be not racing so well or anything like that. But yeah, it came to the last lap, and I realised I was still there and still good, and in the end, I just decided, well, I was never going to win from a bunch sprint, but I could have tried an attack or something like that, but I just wanted to sit in and see where I stood against those guys. So that was it was good for my confidence, and also I've never. You don't. It's not very often that for me. I mean, that I actually get to be a part of a bike race. So it was nice to feel that again, because it's usually you're doing what you're told, and when your time's done, you swing off and be good for the next day. So it was nice to be involved and start thinking tactically again. Yeah. And
your team Sunweb have actually signed some more Australians. So you've got Hindley, you've got Storer, yourself,
yep.
You've of course Michael Matthews. So there seems to be quite a heavy Aussie influence. Now you're just a little bit older than the two younger guys. Are you going to be like their dad now?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's 12 months on. I feel it makes me feel a bit older. I'm thinking, well, yeah, I'm already, I'm going into my second Catalunya now, and Jai's he's the same age that I was when I joined the team, and Storer's a year younger even. So yeah, I mean, if I can provide input anywhere or help the guys out, I will. But I mean, there's a lot more. There's plenty more experience on the team than what I've had. Especially, we've got Lawrence Tendam and Johannes Frolinga doing Catalunya as well. So between those guys, there's more knowledge that some teams have. But yeah, it's nice to have them. It's nice to have them on board and have a few more people at the dinner table that can actually understand you.
Now you're looking at Catalunya. Obviously, it's like your home race in Europe because you're staying in Girona. You did it last season. You did the La Molina climb. Looking at this race, do you actually know any of the other climbs that are going to be in the race this time round?
Not any of the real, major the major climbs or anything like that. But there is quite a lot of like stage one. I mean, that's around where I train all the time, like Plagiaro and the Romagna climb. I mean, it's not anything significant, but it's just kind of, I know those roads, so it's going to be better than nothing. Yeah, I'm quite excited because it's not very often that you can do a race as well that you don't have to fly to as well. I can just drive straight there and be picked up and get dropped off at the end. So
that the big GC day, the Volta 2000 climb, that looks like a really tough day in the saddle. What is it? 3 Cat 1 climbs all close together. The end climb is really steep. They've had it in the race before. That I suppose will be the big test. Looking at your squads, you've got yourself. You're just coming back from illness at Paris-Nice. How much has that set you back?
Look, I think it's the illness is. I mean, this week I haven't been able to. Whatever it was, it hit me hard. So I haven't really been able. I mean, this week I've just done recovery rides because it's taken so long to shake. So the preparation's not ideal. I obviously would have liked to have made it through Paris-Nice and then have this week to taper. But I think 5 days of Paris-Nice in the legs is definitely better than nothing. So it's going to be interesting to see how I handle it. I mean, it's probably the first two stages aren't going to be shouldn't be too strenuous. So yeah, that'll be kind of nice to get me a bit warmed up and activated. So yeah, fingers crossed. I'm all good.
But if we're looking at you as a rider in terms of your climbs, obviously with people who've watched your career know that you've got that kind of kick for the shorter climbs. Looking at your career over here, are you looking towards becoming a climber who can cope with the long climbs, or are you still going to kind of focus on the shorter, punchy efforts?
Well, that's the thing. I think I almost feel like you don't really. It's going to go whatever way that. I feel like I don't really have a choice in the matter. I'm either going to be. Yeah, it's going to go either way because I'm still building so much base and getting used to like my body, how I'm handling it, and I think I'm definitely not as punchy as what I was at the start of last year. If I look at my max power or something like that, I haven't got the kick or the sprint that I used to have. So yeah, I think I've slowed down a bit in that aspect. So maybe the longer climbs I'm gonna start developing towards that. But I think I'm really just gonna have to wait and see what I'm better at.
You've also got a young Belgian in your team, Louis Vervac, who's a really, really strong climber. He struggled last year, a lot of overtraining. He came out and said, obviously you've maybe spent a wee bit of time around him. He looks like a kind of solid climber to be working with. Yeah,
massively. Like his level got so much higher towards the end of the week in Paris. Like he had some knee issues and he didn't have a good start to the year training wise, but yeah, he was just getting better every day. So it's quite exciting to see him back on top of his game. And there's obviously he's one of those like you said, a young guy that had massive potential but just had a few things not going his way. So I think he's going to be good. I think he's really going to come good in Catalunya, I feel.
What would be a successful week for yourself? Do you have any personal goals for this one?
I do. I just first of all, I want to see where I am 12 months on. If I can, be somewhere. If I can be in the last 30 guys, then I'll be happy. I'm well aware that I'm not. Even on my best days, I'm not going to be. I'm not a top 20. Also, GC guy for now. So I think if I can find myself in the top 30, I'll be pretty happy with that.
And what's that final stage like? It's a good one to watch on the TV when the Montjuic climb. It looks like a real good stage.
I really enjoyed that last year. That was I got in the break for it because the day before was the day that that Froome lost all the time, and so many guys were out of GC now. So I think there was a group of like 20 of us just rolled away straight off the line. But no, I really enjoyed that stage. It's so I do like that style of. I do like that style of climbing more. They're just repetitive, short, 5-minute full gas things, and then a quick descent to recover, and then do it again. So I do like that. I do like that style of circuit. So I'm looking forward to that one.
Superb. So looking ahead after this race, what other big events do you have coming up race wise?
I don't know if we're allowed to talk about it.
Oh, secret.
Yeah, no, it is. We're told. Very proactively that we need to keep our race schedules under wraps because we can't be giving away too many. That's the team protocol. I'd love to be able to tell you, but
we don't want to get in trouble.
No, that's right.
So, Chris, thanks very much. Hope you have a really good week in Catalunya. Hope you see a big improvement compared to last year. And thanks for giving up your time to come on the show this morning.
No, thank you. Thanks for having me. I enjoyed it.